I bought my first party membership in one of the legacy parties. It was the Reform Party. That was after I spent a summer working for Parks Canada. I'd spent most of my educational time and my professional time at that point in time working towards the eventual goal. I have a zoology degree in fisheries and aquatic sciences, and I have a conservation law enforcement diploma from Lethbridge College. I wanted to be a conservation officer, park warden, fish and wildlife officer, something to that effect. So I had worked for Alberta Fish and Wildlife, Alberta Park Service up until that point. I finally got to Parks Canada. I was a backcountry warden in Jasper National Park. It's the most wonderful, beautiful environment you could ever want to work in. But the Government of Canada and its policies and the things that I saw inside, just as a newbie that was there for the very first time, I saw things that I didn't necessarily agree with, and when I questioned them, it didn't go well for me. So I came back to a provincial park, and within another year and a half, I was the ranger in charge of a provincial park in Alberta in my mid-20s. I think sometimes people who are responsible for spending tax dollars, even at the middle management level, don't necessarily remember or think about just how hard Canadians work for their tax dollars. When I left Parks Canada, I indicated that I might run for federal politics someday, and I wasn't taken very seriously, and 10 years later I was the MP. When I started this job, January 23rd, 2006, that was the election that Stephen Harper became the Prime Minister of Canada. My children were 7, 5, and 3 at the time, and that's when my journeys to and from Ottawa commenced, and my beautiful wife Barbara has stayed home and kept the home fires burning, and has basically raised the children almost, I would say, on her own, and has done a miraculous job. Yeah, I'm really, really proud of my family. And my wife, Barbara, is a Polish immigrant to Canada. She came over here at the tender age of 9, and who'd have thought that a little farm boy from Lacombe, Alberta would end up meeting a woman from another country, getting married, and then becoming a member of parliament for going on 17 years now and representing the fine people in Central Alberta. So that picture that you see there, that's the hog barn. So there's a couple barns there, but that's actually the family farm that I grew up on. So we got our first picture taken there. Obviously, we don't do much for dandelion control, but I think it's kind of cute. That would be the barn where we kept the sows, and I spent many an hour in that barn, shoveling out and cleaning the pig pens and hauling chop. That's what I did when I was a kid on the farm. I'm kind of an outdoorsy guy to begin with. I got a little bit of influence from my mother when it comes to music. So if I'm not playing guitar and playing music and singing, but I like hunting and fishing. And Pierre Poilievre has just made me the shadow minister for hunting, fishing, and conservation. So that's my background, but it actually truly is a passion. I feel the conservation and, of course, wildlife and fish. So if I've got a spare time, if I've got any free time whatsoever, you'll find me in hunting season out in a tree stand, and the rest of the year you'll find me either in a boat out on the lake or in my waders along a river trying to catch a fish. I would equate that, my church is God's creation, and I just love being in the woods or out on the lake or out on the water someplace. Hey, Central Alberta is absolutely fantastic. When most people drive through on Highway 2, they just get a little glimpse of what there is to see. So obviously we have the 4 bands at Maskwacis, so thousands and thousands of people that live in both Samson, Ermineskin, Montana, and Louisville. So those are the folks that I represent at the north end of the riding. Amazing cultural outreach and things to do there, powwows, artwork, everything that they do there is wonderful, and it's lovely. But you move down into Ponoka, in the last week of June and through the Canada Day long weekend. If you're looking for a fun time, and if you're truly into rodeo, Ponoka Stampede Parade draws thousands and thousands of visitors to see hundreds and hundreds of parade entries. And you can get up close and personal to Ponoka Stampede. So over the 7-day Ponoka Stampede, that rodeo, you'll have over 70,000 people go through the gates. I don't think it gets any better in Canada than the Ponoka Stampede. Lacombe, which is my hometown, we've got architecture, Edwardian architecture and so on. So we have lots of overlay districts in our community to protect and preserve a lot of very, very classic heritage buildings. Lots of towns have a few of these buildings. Lacombe is blessed and rich with them, including the Flatiron Building. There's only a couple of them in Canada. So I would encourage people to always stop by and take a look at Lacombe. It's a beautiful place. And as you move into Red Deer, you've got, of course, the Westerner grounds. You've got, junior hockey teams. You've got all of these things. Blackfalds has that as well. We have a new facility, Eagle Builder Center. So we have junior hockey now in both Blackfalds and in Red Deer, different tiers, but it's great hockey. Nonetheless, Pagoda Field in Sylvan Lake has the Sylvan Lake Gulls. We have a new baseball team that's there. Sylvan Lake is basically our version of Penticton in Alberta. So it's basically located halfway in between Edmonton and Calgary, and it's a destination. Hundreds of thousands of people come to Sylvan Lake every summer to go to the beach. I was actually a park ranger there in my younger days, but it is a true gem. So There is lots to see and do. We've got a ski hill at Bentley in the wintertime. We've got all kinds of things to do. So whether you're into outdoor pursuits or whether you're in an urban vacation in Red Deer, we've got Ross Street and all the restaurants and the fine dining. It's a beautiful, beautiful part of the country to live in. There isn't much you can't do or can't access in Central Alberta. You don't need to go to the Edmontons or Calgarys. Red Deer's 100,000 people. We've got great businesses, great visionaries in the community, and there's just tons and tons of stuff to do.